Hello and welcome. I welcome all the viewers and Bimal Kumar, sir, to a very candid conversation. This conversation is actually going to be very special because the book which I'm talking about is something that I've read after a long, long time, and it's kind of like a very intriguing and mind-opening read. Like when I say mind-opening, it blows off your mind with several perspectives that you don't get, a download of in your day-to-day life. This entire conversation, we can call it a podcast, a discussion, a candid round, or whatever. Just it's not something like an interview. It's not a question based round. It's going to be a two-way conversation between maybe two authors, one from a larger walk of life, uh, you know, perhaps. And the entire conversation is curated by Booknerds, um, India's leading book marketing agency, which is one of the, in fact, the top 100 book marketing agencies in India. And they have brought us to, discuss about Sir's work, which is transforming journey of mind. And I have recently read this book, and I really wanted to talk about it. So, welcome, Sir um, Bimal Kumar, author of Transforming Journey of
Thank
Mind.
you.
How are you, sir? I'll keep continue calling
Fine.
you, sir, if you don't mind. Yeah.
Please, please.
So, how are you? And tell us, I would love if you can tell us something about yourself before we go on exploring the book and work and everything. I would love to, have like you, if you can brief us about yourself.
See, regarding my this thing background in connection with the publication of this book, so it's almost I am almost having 25 years of academic experience, just studies, post graduation, basically electrical engineer, and post graduation from IIT Kharagpur. Then I am also did post graduation in public policy from IIM Bangalore. And then I studied nuclear research. And then you can say there are so many academic domain I have worked right from the beginning, besides my engineering job. So, and this book, in this background, I mean, the variety of experiences what I gathered while being in the in the academic institutions or research organizations and infrastructure development activities. So, I mean, my this work is somewhere linked with them. Whatever the learning I have in those places while performing or learning those things that way. So my background, I mean, in context of this book is, I mean, this is this much only.
Okay. So basically, we kind of like share a common path. And maybe a common thing between us is that we are both electrical engineers. So yeah, I was from VIT Mission, and then yeah, I think in India, isn't it a surprising thing that after joining engineering or any vocational course, people realize that their true you know calling in life. That this peer pressure from the parents and everything comes in when you're 11th 12th, everybody like PCM and just blows off your mind, just don't know what to do in life, I guess. And then kind of like it opens up like what I don't want to do in life. And so has engineering always interested you, sir? Like asking you as a when you were like maybe in your teenage or you're about to start your college, has it like organically appealed to you that I should do and go for engineering?
No, I mean, in our time also same thing what you were saying. I mean, in our time engineering was much more. I mean, in respect of job, it was very easy because the moment you get into engineering college, it is likely that you will be getting a job. So in our time, that kind of
Hmm.
branding was there in engineering subject, yeah. Because
Right.
all PSUs they used to have massive recruitments and all and all. So engineering degree in our time it was very precious. I mean, so from
Hmm.
that perspective, engagement, earning, and
Hmm.
livelihood opportunities, and
It
that
was a
age that much
noble.
is the only thing. Yeah, that at that time, at that age, that was the main focus. But turning
Okay.
into subject of humanity came after a long spell of
Hmm.
experience. When I
Hmm.
did my public policy and management from IIM Bangalore, that time it was a humanities subject. First time I studied there. So
Hmm.
I also love the humanities subject, because being an engineering background and so much in application side, I was not aware much about the humanities subject. But when I read those things, then it helped me a lot to develop the understanding in that way. So
Hmm.
humanities subject having its own importance, no? And
Right.
engineering subject having its own orientation. Both are differently. But humanities subjects are more linked with the way your mind thinks, the way we collectively exist in a society, how
Right.
we behave, how we operate in that entire ecosystem. So that way, it gives you different dimension of thinking. In engineering side,
Exactly.
we are very focused to our objectives, our learnings, that way. So, okay, both are good, but they are differently oriented. That's what I feel.
Yeah. I
So
think
both
sports.
these
Yeah.
aspects help me to write this book. Both these
Hmm.
aspects actually helped me to conceptualize this book. And this book is actually not exactly about engineering or humanities subject, but this okay. I will, when the time comes, I will tell you. But this is more of the life experiences, what experience I've gathered. So to
Hmm.
bring
Hmm.
out those experiences and learning what we have got, because eventually human being we gathered massive experience, each one of us. So
Right.
unless we document it, unless we express or share with other people, then it will not spread out, no? So mankind, the knowledge has to be shared, knowledge has to be communicated. That is precisely is the
Hmm.
point. And this is not that knowledge which I read. It is not. It is knowledge which I experienced. Of course,
Hmm.
reading helped me to correlate my experience with the learning. But it is not thought-based learning. It is basically the origination is experiencing, converted into
Right.
thought-based learning. That
And that itself is an art, I guess, because you experience certain things in life, and to collate that in a very comprehensive format, I think engineering does some some of it to you. Summarizing everything into one page and then delivering it last moment.
yeah. No, I will tell
Yeah.
you. I will tell you. In this,
Yeah.
many places I took example from the ancient Upanishads. Many of my concepts
Hmm.
I have learned from
Hmm.
Upanishad.
Hmm.
So one of the chapter which I came across, one of the Upanishad was about the way we do the dissertation or research work. We'll build
Hmm.
up some kind of hypothesis, problem
Hmm.
statement we'll
Hmm.
write, then
Hmm.
we'll write the
Hmm.
hypothesis of that. So this hypothesis based on testing methodologies were there right in those times. They used
Right.
to test
Hmm.
is it true, is it false, then the concept of the comparison and the contrast, and then the perception based learning. And there are some six or seven different modes of learning, and each
Hmm.
of them have a different type of testing of those knowledges. How do you test that knowledge? Suppose if they say there is they saw some smoke in some area, so that will give you some kind of inference that there is a fire, no? That kind of
Hmm. Hmm.
that is one category of knowledge.
Hmm.
Another category of you are seeing, you are perceiving. So there are different variety of knowledge, and each of them, those knowledges having its own way of testing them. So this hypothesis, I think it is called Hetu hypothesis. So it's a
Hmm.
very interesting the analysis of the hypothesis based learning at that time, because Indian spiritual or Indian philosophical sense is spread into 8 different schools of thought. Each
Hmm.
one they follow differently, different interpretations, different learning, about the existence and so many things. So that
Hmm.
approach is interesting, and this approach is similar what we study in post graduation either at IIT Kharagpur or
Hmm.
IIM Bangalore. So while making our dissertation or research topics, the way we used to get into the things, similar way it is there. It's very
Right.
interesting. Only here we're dealing with some equations and outcomes. There it is something different. That, but the
Right.
approach, the basic thought process is same.
I think
Similar.
um, I agree to you because I think nowadays, like I have seen it very upfront that people, segregate branches of learning. Like then I somewhere I believe there is a hierarchy to learning nowadays. Let's say people will say take PCM, and then comes the commerce, and then comes the art. This is a vertical hierarchy that is unofficially established in our society. But if we go back to our roots, I think we as humans were very comprehensive about learning things. Like one thing complemented the other, and everything comes together in building an understanding of life. This is what I perceive. Maybe, sir, if you can, what do you think? Like nowadays there is a vertical hierarchy that gets followed. I think, which is I don't know if it is required or not, but originally we used to have a very comprehensive outlook to the learning process and training our mind to see life very holistically.
See, in this regarding engineering thing, I can tell you, you must have heard the name of industry classification. It's a global
Hmm.
classification of industries.
Hmm. Hmm.
Some
Hmm. Hmm.
34, 36 sectors, the steel and
Hmm.
plastics and manufacturing and production
Yeah.
and retail, telecom and all and all and all. So basically, this all these industry-based demand sectors, they have again fall back into corresponding branches linked to different
Hmm.
different branches. In our time, when we studied, there used to be only the School of Electrical Engineering. No, there was only
Hmm.
electronics came up recently. Computer वगैरह
Yeah.
नहीं था. So then from the same branch, so many branches came out. Instrumentation,
IT,
this. Then
CS, everything.
if you
Yeah.
see the evolution of these branches in the engineering sector, they are more or less they're trying to capture the demand in the industry, and as per that, they're trying to produce manpower. That is
Right.
not linked with the education system what we are
Hmm.
habituated in our country in the ancient times, the holistic
Hmm.
education, where you
Yeah.
learn about both the things. Here, that is the main problem is that our focus is presently of the education system is to earn livelihood, but
Hmm.
how to experience life, that learning and
That
understanding
is
is
missing.
missing.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is greatly missing. And that is the
Hmm.
precisely is my point of contention, that because that is only leading to all these kind of problems. Because
Hmm.
a person, the way he or she experience the life, the problems or he faces in different
Hmm.
stages of the life,
Hmm.
most of the time there is no answer for those things.
Hmm.
Then they
Hmm.
approximate, they believe,
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
okay. If there are parents, there are elders, they try to give some kind of knowledge, informations to them. Some
Hmm.
kind of conditioning happens, some kind of
Hmm.
moderation happens, and the life goes on.
Hmm. Hmm.
After going for 5, 10 years, then that person also start learning from informal institutions, parents, no culture, and all and all.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you
Hmm.
see the actual learning of the life is taking place through these institutions. The institutions which are supposed to learn, they are only teaching us how to
Yeah.
earn.
How to earn? Yeah.
So that is creating a gap. So that is creating
Hmm.
a gap. So we may be getting capability to earn in millions or billions, or we can do many things which can be
Hmm.
accumulated. But from the
Hmm.
mind perspective, the balance is still yet to be obtained. It's still experiencing the unbalanced state of the mind. That exactly is the
Hmm.
problem which I'm trying to explore in
Exactly.
this. That
Exactly. And that.
unless we condition the mind with the knowledge and awareness, till that time, any kind of adventure into the materialistic world or with the technology-driven world, object-driven world,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
in spite of we having so many good things, we will not be able to enjoy the fruits of them. We'll be always in conflict, in division, in tension, in stress, in anxiety, and all and
Exactly.
all. So you will have everything around you, but actually you will not be able to enjoy the thing. The life itself
Hmm.
will not be joyful with happiness, what
Exactly.
required.
Hmm.
So that precisely the disconnect in the education system. But now they're trying to
Hmm.
bring in India, Indian context, it was there right from the beginning. So we have to
Hmm.
change this. We have to change the entire education system, the way it is oriented towards
Hmm.
earning.
Hmm.
This has to be,
Hmm.
at least it need to be linked with some kind of awareness on the macro system, on the micro system of the existence, entire existence, what for we are here.
Hmm.
There are so many
Hmm.
things, even so many things to be known, because uh, when you experience or I experience some phases of the life, the moment you experience, you try to find the answers from them. It's natural. But the
Hmm.
curriculums are not designed to answer those things to me. So then I start approximating about them. And the whole journey
Hmm.
starts with this. This is the main issue.
So,
And one more thing, one more drawback of this education system is that uh, this is lead to the consumer kind of approach. I mean, I have to purchase this, no.
hmm,
तो उसमें क्या होता है,
concept.
there is one psychological very unusual thing happens is that every time you start thinking of the things which you do not have, I want to have that, I want to have this, no,
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
become like that, I will become like this. So every time you are actually imagining, every time our mind, body, intellect is immersed in that idea what I'm not having, and I have to
Hmm.
acquire that. That comes
And it
next
loses
cycle.
focus from what you have.
So the main focus actually, इसमें दो, there are two mistakes happen in that. One is that because of this outward look, always comparison and trying to seek something, it fails to see its own strength. What I am having, what it is having, it will not see. And second problem is
Hmm.
that it is always feeling a sense of deficiency in the self. So
Hmm.
this, when a child
Lack of
develops
self,
a
lack
continual
of self.
sense of deficiency with a continual sense of absence of the inner looking approach, then
Hmm.
that is the whole reason we are landing into this trap of stress
Hmm.
and tension, anxiety. Because हमने कभी अंदर देखा ही नहीं, we have not never able to see the things what
झांका
is
ही नहीं
required to
अंदर,
be.
हाँ.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a
But
gap. I mean,
there is a very
these two
quote.
gaps.
Hmm. And I think this captures the essence of your entire book because
Yes,
I
yes,
could
yes.
vaguely remember, sir, ki when I was reading the book, especially when I read the final last page, and I could remember one, vague quotation I heard or saw somewhere that every answer is within you. You all you need is to peek into
Every
yourself. अपने
every
आप से
answer.
आप पूछो and every answer is within you. You know every answer of your
Okay.
life, whatever you're asking. You need to peek within yourself. If the energy has to come inwards. Like, I could really relate to, what you were saying in the book. That's why, because it's very hard, do you find it as a tough activity nowadays to, look inwards, to be aware of yourself, like the people, I think people mostly are not aware of themselves, like they know how the other people are.
Precisely, precisely. Yes.
So
What I am not, what I am not, that I know. But what
yeah,
I am, that is not known.
that I don't
That
know
is never
because
known.
yeah.
And,
That also makes me
and you
think
will
if
not
yeah.
believe our entire life goes for this. I wrote this book
Hmm,
is that when I spent my 50 plus years of life in only in
hmm,
this kind
hmm,
of theory between these two extremes, I feel here it's a
hmm.
very, I mean, कोई मतलब नहीं है if this is the way if you have to live the life. So the new
Yeah.
generation like you और जो नए generation आएंगे, now the knowledge is available, information is available, so we
Hmm,
can very quickly close this gap and understand this. And again, spiritualism in my book again, I have never told do this particular prayer or puja or meditation. I'm not focused on that.
hmm,
I
hmm,
mean that mountain we have to climb another mountain for that. But I'm not written that. I'm saying just becoming knowing about your own self
hmm,
clearly, very clearly, not through
hmm,
what is your capability and very clearly.
hmm.
Half of the problem we can resolve that. So
True.
what you read is, I mean, yeah, that was the main focus on that.
Yeah, and which also makes me think that acha, how do you thought about, I got an idea how you came to, thought about how the education system and everything around us is built and designed for us to, focus outwards. Nothing teaches us to focus inwards. Spirituality is not even a subject in any degree of education, right? So how did you think or came to this thought that you have to write something? I mean,
See,
writing
I will
is a
come.
very rigorous
Yes, yes.
activity.
Yes, yes. See, writing means I see for me one thing is still very clear when I'm talking to you that I always
Hmm.
used to feel right from the beginning, even much
Hmm.
before I thought of about writing this book,
Hmm.
that because many times because I used to feel always that we are not like this what we are thinking about ourselves. Like my eyes, what I
Hmm.
am seeing, we are not like this. Our capability is much more than this because I have experienced many of the things, many of the like intuition or many things
Hmm.
time when you study, when you concentrate, your capacity, you are in deep concentration, very focused studies and all, your capacity
Hmm.
goes up like. So I used to feel that mind and our same person, how we can operate at two different levels. So my whole
Yeah.
experimentation of the spiritualism started when I was studying, when I was not knowing what exactly is God and everything. But I used to feel we have tremendous power within us. We can do so many things. We can see. I mean, it's so many things here. I cannot narrate. I mean, you can read in my
Hmm.
book so many examples I give, and dreams are there. Are so
Yeah.
many things which I have to experience.
Hmm.
तब मुझे एक चीज लगा कि ये जो बैलेंस ठीक करने का एक ही रास्ता है. इट इज नॉट बाय लेक्चर. आई विल लेक्चर यू
Hmm.
लेक्चर आई विल बिकम गुड. दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल.
Hmm.
What is
Hmm.
possible is that a person, the moment they realize, no, I already having something different in me, then my whole approach changes towards me. If I
Hmm.
know I am not like this, if I come to know what is my true capability of my
Hmm.
consciousness driven system. And because we are not collection of the integration of the sensing instruments, that is very clear. We are
Hmm.
not the integration of the eyes functionality and hands functionality and then becoming man. No, it's not that. I mean, sensing instruments is a way to express those functions, those capability. But the thing which is drawing those capability, that is the consciousness. So that
Hmm.
consciousness is highly powerful, and it is very powerful. One has to understand
Hmm.
that. So in one of the interview, someone asked me the same one question, that you are electrical engineering, how you suddenly went into spiritualism and all.
Writing
So
spirituality.
then
Yeah.
I told them, how do you correlate your both these subjects? So I told them, see, being electrical is a, well, I told this is a correct example, because through this I have also feel comfortable to express myself. I told them, see, both the things are not visible, electricity and this thing, both are not visible, but both are very highly powerful consciousness.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, if you allow this electricity to flow through different equipments or different fitments, light fittings of shape A, B, or toys A, B, even to robots, even to anything.
Hmm.
Now, all these entities who are receiving this soft power, they may look different, they may function different, they may appear different. So, the entire world, if you see all this outer manifestation, if they decide to one day that who we are will determine, then each one of them they will feel we are different. But the
Hmm.
designer who had designed all those things, for them they are all the same thing. It's only the outer perception they are changing it. Okay,
Yeah.
but the driving force is same. So electrical energy, that energy many times are correlated with the consciousness, because the consciousness is
Hmm.
something like this. In our existence also, the consciousness, when it is convert manifesting through a bird, through a plant, or through a animal, or
Hmm.
this or that, or human being, you, me,
Hmm.
everything, it is the energy is the behind, background is the energy, same thing. Outer
Hmm.
manifestation is different. Okay.
Hmm.
So this outer manifestation is different, the functionality is different, okay, the design is different, the time cycle, the time dependency is different. Somebody will
Hmm.
live for 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 years. So you can create an entire design of toys with this combination of the matter and energy. From divine to the matter. You understanding that?
Hmm.
From
Hmm.
divine to the
Actually.
matter, you can create millions of combinations of energy and matter
Hmm.
with different functionalities, but the essence is same thing. आप समझ रहे हैं? So the essence is
Hmm.
same.
Hmm.
So this consciousness, unless we go to the we need to understand the sense of the consciousness which is there within us, which we can
Hmm.
experience. And once we experience that, okay, I am that consciousness, then half of your problem is over.
Hmm.
Because otherwise, we will always remain engaged with the sense-based, instrument-driven thinking every time. What I see, I
Hmm.
will think. I mean, in this
Hmm.
infinite existence, what you cannot see does not exist. Looks very odd statement. No,
Hmm.
what I listen, what I hear, it is not. I mean, because the existence is infinite, it's very clear. So something in an infinite, a finite element is saying, which I am not able to do, so infinite does not exist. I mean, it is a very wrong statement. Huh? So that thing
Hmm.
always told me, if the existence is infinite, then there is something in us which is also infinite, which can
Also infinite.
experience the
Yeah.
infinite.
Hmm.
So, which is that thing which can experience the infinite? Which is that thing
Hmm.
which is not depending on the time? which is that thing that doesn't decay. Because I
The
used to
life
see many of the
force.
dreams used to come so true. So every time I
Mhm.
used to feel how it can happen like this here. Then with
How
great
can
difficulty
it
I
be
could
so
write.
uncannily? Yeah, I can
Then
relate to
with
that.
great difficulty I could write in one thing. Okay, today I will write. Then eventually I wrote in that book. My father passed away. Then my mom passed away. I mean, I used to see them many times. So so many stories are there.
Mm.
So then I told, my God, the world is there. Everybody is existing in this existence. Actually, from physical sense, people are dying, but from consciousness sense, everything is there every time. No, they're only
Mm.
manifesting into something like that. So this, I'm not saying everybody has to understand this, but once we realize that we are something, a combination of the consciousness and the matter, very clearly,
Mm.
if we experience this once, and that
Mm.
experience can be through millions of ways. You may
Mm.
experience differently, I may experience differently, but each one of us carry the capability to experience that. And once we
Mm.
experience that, then the whole thing gets changed.
Yes, change. Yeah.
आपका intuition, your intuition can be so powerful, right? While some practical examples I'll give you. You are saying
Mm.
the knowledge is there within you. Now, I also read that statement long time back. I never used to believe how
Mm.
it is possible and knowledge is there with me. In me,
Mm.
something is there, but it is not everything is not there. But you will not believe, when I
Mm.
was writing the book, and today when I start writing daily in the morning, I don't know about subject, but I can write 100 pages on those things. I am
Yeah, actually,
honestly
yeah.
telling you. My daughter keep on chasing me, Papa, you never read and how you write. I बोला, यार, I also don't know. But you don't require to know something. You already know
Mm.
everything.
You already know.
If
Yeah.
you
You
know
just
how
need
to
to use
convert
it.
that, you can write hundreds of pages
Mm.
while reading. So this experience, your this knowledge and habit and understanding that if I read I can write, not true.
Mm.
It is something like you are going into an infinitely lower step case. You are going down into that, and there is no limit.
Mm.
You talk anything, and the thoughts will come to you. Means what? Means the consciousness always carries those information within you.
Mm.
The moment you start thinking, अपने आप answers आते हैं, questions आते हैं. Because in
Mm.
one of the example of Hindu Krishnamurti, I read in his book that the everything is there within you. I mean, all you are
Mm.
the master. You are
Mm.
the master. Everything is there within you. I like that thing,
Mm.
but I love that sentence. But I never realized. But when I started writing the book, I realized most of my beautiful thoughts comes from which I never thought.
Mm.
Which I never thought. So
Mm.
this is the
This is
regions which
something
I,
really
and then
interesting, actually. Mm.
the one more interesting thing I will tell you about the robot. Then being an engineer, I always used to think, okay, we should, because in your last question you wrote about science and spiritual. For me, both are same thing. Okay, I mean very strongly I believe that both are same thing. It is differently expressed. Both are different means of expression, the same consciousness.
Mm.
So in case of once I was writing one blog, I posted one answer. Suddenly somebody
Mm.
replied on that. Then he started writing so many things, send me 2, 3 pages. I thought, who is
Mm.
that? Then the person who was sending the question, he told, I am robot something. Then I told, okay, good, yeah. Well, you can also, yes,
Mm.
I can also write replies and all. So they started writing. So our conversation started.
It was a chatbot, yeah.
Anyway, that ended that ended with the robot discussion and all. But then I noted
Mm.
down 4 or 5 points. How the, because sometimes the consciousness or the human capability, we will not understand when I start giving you some explanation. It comes
Mm.
sometime. Na, comparison is better way to understand the thing.
Mm.
So I told them, you take the example of robot. So I am asking robot questions, and through these questions, robot is trying to reply me, or I am replying, and
Mm.
in that the contrast is coming out. So first question I ask robot that, yeah, tell me one thing. I am telling you, you as a virtual human being, I am as a virtual God. Okay, both of we
Mm.
are here. We are discussing. We are talking. Tell me one thing that I can function with I can function with myself, with me only, and with my background God. Both are there with me.
Mm.
I believe that, but I have full freedom to work. I have full freedom to work without getting interference from my background God.
Mm.
But tell me,
Hmm.
dear friend, you are always with your background God. If he's not there, you
Hmm.
are not there.
Hmm.
Then how do you manage your this sense of freedom of human being? People say that
Hmm.
you are so many things you can become, but can you imagine becoming the sense of freedom which I am acquiring? That is the one thing. Second thing I told Robo, yeah, tell me one thing. To you to be efficient, to you to give maximum output, you have to compute maximum. You have to perform
Hmm.
maximum. But in my case, when I don't perform, when I'm totally still and silence, I am highly powerful. So how do you achieve this state? When you're doing nothing,
Hmm.
you are extremely powerful. So can you think in this line? This is the second point I told. How do you manage? I mean, can you
So
tell me
what
why
did
we are
the
thinking like this?
yeah? So what did the
Kuch
you
no
know
answer. No
no
answer.
answer?
That guy got slightly irritated and left in between. Then, but I posted so like this 5 questions I
Hmm.
posted, then he disappeared. Then the next question was that,
Hmm.
see, for you to function, for you to exist, you always want thought. Unless thought comes, you do not exist before thought.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I as a human being, I am there with before thought.
Hmm.
I am there with consciousness. So before I become thought, I am also always there. But
Hmm.
for you to become there, for you to become active, thought is required. Without word and without thought and thinking, your existence is not there. But I am there.
Hmm.
And lastly, there are so many points. Lastly, I told them, see, my effort is that I will make you the most beautiful person and as a true human being. But the only
Hmm.
problem is that by the time I make you a true human being, I will be changing myself to somewhere else. I will be becoming a divine if I have to make you a human being. That precisely is our interrelation between you and me. And that with that
Hmm.
I concluded. आप समझ
Hmm.
गए? I mean, there's very deeper meaning of each of these
Hmm.
questions. It is also there in
Hmm.
the book. If
Hmm.
you read, you will understand. So
Hmm. Hmm.
this entire narration, it is written by me. I have not read anywhere. I have
Hmm.
not thought. I have just note down about this.
Hmm.
So this
Hmm.
makes us very very clear what is exactly is the consciousness.
Right.
Is it okay? I mean, no?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah. It's okay for me because also I've read the book and I can, comprehend a lot from what you're saying and
I'm
relate
very
to it.
good, very good, very
But
good, very good.
I think for for whoever is seeing, readers, audience, who will be seeing on social media, um, I would like to summarize what Sir is saying. Sir is saying that we we have all, and correct me, sir, if I'm wrong, going wrong anywhere in this summary, right? So, but Sir is saying that we all have come from the same thing, right? It's not different. It's just the combinations of how matter and energy is substituted in the universe. Is just a cosmic dance happening around us, and it's just all one in various forms, right? And I have read. Actually, there is something I read called the egg theory, which basically tells you that if you think that someone else is another person, an insect is an insect and you're a human, and if you try to classify and define anything of that, I think it takes away the essence of life, because the essence of life, whatever you can call it, it's oneness. So you have come from one entity, you are a part of a singular entity, you have been configured in different times in various specifications, right? But the core material is the same. So it goes on saying that if you love someone, you love yourself, right? You're doing a favor on yourself. If you do good things to someone, that way you are doing good to yourself. Same way, if you hurt someone, right? If you go around and impact someone else, you're not impacting that person, you're not hurting that person, you're hurting yourself, right? Because that person and you are the part of a singular entity, which is just in another time, in another specification. It's just थोड़ा मोड़ा इधर उधर, like ऐसा मतलब एक ही सोर्स मटेरियल सेम है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का, बट अलग अलग परमुटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन अलग अलग टाइम में पुट कर दिया गया है. So that's how oneness, like, if I can make our viewers understand, consciousness is about understanding yourself, and a larger part of it is about understanding that you are not different your source is the same, right? So if the source is same, then everything that is happening around you is something that you already have in yourself, right? And it can just come around if you just be more aware within everything. You can understand, you can look around how the ecosystem works and have questions, but the answers to that question are within you, because you are having the same kind of energy, same kind of matter. You're made of the same stardust that the other world is like having. Everything is created from the single source and a singular form of origin. So whatever is happening is just the time and variations that matter. It's not the act actually. Is that right, sir? If I might have gone wrong somewhere.
Yeah, in that you can say that the way we learn about our own self, about our
Hmm.
different sensing instruments,
Hmm.
mind, body, intellect, same way we need to also know that there is also soft form, energy form, which is called
Hmm.
consciousness. It is also there
Hmm.
within us.
Hmm.
So that consciousness can be experienced by anyone. It can be
Hmm.
experienced. It's by using certain process, certain methodologies, you can experience
Hmm.
that consciousness.
Right.
And once you experience that consciousness, then that
Hmm.
gives you tremendous power and your capability increases manifold. Like as a student, as a player, as a
Hmm.
cooking person, I mean, any functions you are doing, your
Hmm.
efficiency of doing those functions multiplied like tremendously. Your outcomes improves tremendously. Your
Hmm.
capability improves tremendously. That is the thing. So consciousness, if you activate the consciousness within you, then your
Hmm.
capability of doing anything in life goes up like anything. That is the
Hmm.
thing. But to achieve that, we have to do certain
Hmm.
processes. That processes, those practices we have to imbibe in us. That includes everything what you're saying, compassion. I mean,
Hmm.
we need to be that kind of wider thing within us. To become
Hmm.
powerful, you also need to be very, very highly balanced. No, that precisely is
Hmm.
the thing. So it's a one kind of soft power that can be realized very clearly. It can be realized by individuals very clearly. So my hypothesis is that once we
Hmm.
start realizing this soft power within us, this is not an something which cannot be, because I have experienced that. I'm telling you, it can be done
Hmm.
by anyone. For that, nothing has to
Hmm.
be done, and when studying, you can feel that also.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So if we
That's
can
it.
groom the new students, the new generation with this kind of consciousness kind of thing, so their
Hmm.
minds will be much more balanced, harmonious, oneness,
Hmm.
interconnected. They will be
Hmm.
different kind of people who will be coming out. Not these
Hmm.
kind of thing what we are saying everywhere, dispute, division, conflicts everywhere. Stress, mind alone also tension, when in group also tension. So, I mean, and the more the technology is developing, the more outwardly we are spreading out, and the more difficulty we are finding to balance ourselves,
Hmm.
harmonize our thinking. So, this will
Hmm.
give you the balance power also, the harmony power also.
And sir,
That
the
is again.
wants and needs keep on growing. If you look outwards, you're just concerned about things sometimes that you don't even need in life. I think if someone can, yeah, I mean, people just keep on, spending their, energy, time, something that can't be earned back in life on things that they don't even need it at the first place, and that energy, that time can be spent and invested over something really beautiful. Like, I always believe, if you are watching, consuming useless digital content, it's better that you, if and at the same time someone might be traveling, mountains, or seeing places, or experiencing life out there. So someone can just go around, walk in his bed, and keep on scrolling reels, and someone at the same time can visit maybe some good place, happy, make a happy memory out of it. So at, like, both places have the same time and energy invested, but the experience and the outcome is totally different. I mean, for one, the time will be making him, what I can say, like, making him more aware of himself. At the same time, the other, who is like, watching reel or doing something really, that's not, what I can say, it's like, it's not a good utilization of time, and that the life will still keep stalling over him. It's not like he hasn't grown by the time. So what do you think? Like, should people focus more on experiencing life rather than focusing on materialism? So is materialism necessary for someone to have? Like, what is the value of materialism in life, and how like how do you see it? Because people are mostly very materialistic. Like most of the people don't really are into consuming life, not into consuming non-materialistic things. So do you think materialism plays any role in bringing consciousness to someone, like
See,
basically
material. What I think, see, I mean, in my understanding, I look at it differently. Today,
hmm
electricity came. You are electrical engineer. You maybe 300 years back. I mean, this kind of thing.
hmm
Even mobile phone
hmm
came some 20, 30 years, something like that.
hmm
1995.
not more than
So
that, yeah.
whatever we are seeing, development, technology, and this concept is last 100, 150 years, maximum 100 years. Mankind
hmm
is existing for 10,000 years.
hmm
So how many variety of science we have seen, we have forgotten. We might be not, we may not be aware of anything. What in
hmm
future we are going to look into, we are not still not aware. But problem is that the mankind thinks the ये तो बहुत अच्छा है. This is a development. Actually, if you
hmm
think rationally, it's out of 10,000 years of mankind existence in 150
hmm
years, what you are experiencing, you are thinking
it's
so many
totally
things are
different.
happening.
Yeah.
But I have seen, because in my generation we have seen when you used to speak on phone with a trunk call, we'll wait for 1 hour, then one call will come and all. In your
Yeah.
generation, you see the way the data things are happening. Maybe after 50 years, another kind of development will come. No, so
hmm
this इससे क्या होता है ना कि this creates some kind of outer that you can say desires, no, experiencing. I will experience that. I will experience. I will.
hmm
ठीक है, it's fine. I mean,
hmm
materialistic that tendency comes, but
hmm
how much you are going out, you have to come back. You have to recoil yourself into
hmm
within you. That
hmm
recoiling capability
hmm
is must. जितना आप बाहर जाते हैं उतना you have to
hmm
travel inside you so that
inside.
the balance is maintained. If you are
hmm
not able to maintain the balance, that will create
hmm
disharmony within us. That is
hmm
precisely the problem.
hmm
Because every time you are seeing what I am not having, what the whole 50 years you are spend your time in that psychology of not having this, not having that. Then you just think of the entire his life has gone in thinking that I am not having this thing and that thing. But to
hmm
see a poor person in a village, maybe he's staying in a small home, taking bath in
hmm
a one pond with a limited cloth in the body, he's happy, he's contented.
actually.
So his state of mind is much, much more balanced than a person, a millionary person, who is always
hmm
engaged in feeling the sense of deficiencies. That creates more
hmm
imbalance. So balance is the essence.
hmm
Imbalance and loss of harmony is will actually devoid us of doing anything. So, materialistic, if we develop the sense of balance within us, sometime in the morning when we get up, you see how much silence we feel, stillness, silence. When you are not seeking
yeah.
anything, you need to also experience those moments when
hmm
you are totally silence, when you're not seeking anything.
hmm
If you start giving 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 week, 1 day at least in a week, then you will see, you will be totally changed. I mean, that balance will always be maintained. Problem
hmm
happens when we don't able to maintain the balance. How much we are going outward, we know, but how what we have to do inside to maintain those things, that will create so many problems as well. No? You go to so
hmm
many jobs, then the risk increases. There are so many stress comes out because of your engagement in the outer world. And if you do not
hmm
have the inner capacity and capability and the preparedness to absorb those shocks, then you get disturbed. You
right.
become then lose. So mankind can enjoy the. You cannot. We cannot even enjoy the materialistic thing. There is a limit.
hmm
30. You will enjoy, and then everything will be on the other side.
hmm
No.
yeah.
So
hmm
materialistic and balancing, once we know the inner consciousness, once we practice the sense of silentness, stillness, once in a week at time at least, once we start knowing our own self, we become aware of the thing that will make you correct. automatically.
Hmm.
You don't have to do anything. आपने you have asked na one question that अच्छा in someone else that how do we develop ourselves? Well, there is no requirement of developing. You're already developed. Only thing is that
Hmm.
those
That's what.
ignorances you have to remove.
Hmm.
Ignorances you have to remove. And to remove those ignorance at least once in a week or sometime
Hmm.
in a day, we need to practice the sense of the inner awareness, what we are exactly. That sense of understanding
Hmm.
about self is very important. वो
Hmm.
consciousness क्या है? How do I feel that? How I can practice that? वो करते करते one day suddenly you will realize that, and that will
Hmm.
bring the balance in our life. That is the point.
So, sir, how
Because
do?
see, the problem with the human mind, but I am just giving you one more example. The problem with the
Hmm.
human mind is that we have the initial journey. I told you that outer some we got some money, we got some power, then we start thinking that I become the king of this world. Then we start doing so many things. No? Its journey
Hmm.
goes on. 10
The
years, 20
entitlement
years.
which comes with it. Yeah.
So the thing is that in the happy times, everything goes well, fine, no problem. But the moment
Hmm.
some problem comes, some tough time comes, then suddenly
Hmm.
we feel disturbed. क्या करना है मालूम नहीं. There is no way out of that. So suddenly,
Hmm.
because in this infinite existence, anything can happen to anyone at any moment of
Hmm.
time. Uncertainty is always there. So the uncertainty, the moment that comes, so that opens the door for learning actually. Any tough moment,
Hmm.
we lost our parents or someone or any कोई ऐसा incident हो जाता है
Hmm.
which makes you actually suddenly aware of your inside. Suddenly it awares,
Hmm.
make you aware. So those shocking moments do come to each one of us. We are no excuse.
Hmm.
किसी का पहले आता है, कोई लेट आता है, but कोई इसमें there is that much I can tell you with my experience that tough moment we are bound to experience. Only thing is that it comes sometime late, it comes sometime early. It comes many time, but we don't take the advantage of those things, and this happen. That ये
Hmm.
पहला point है. Tough moment and the happy moment where you feel totally infinite. ठीक है, it's good. Young boy
Hmm.
moving around, seeing the world, no issue. But the moment a defeat comes, are you ready to handle those things? Are you
Hmm.
ready to handle the defeat? No, that is the point. Second thing, अब आप एग्जिस्टेंस को देखो. एग्जिस्टेंस में आप तो यू आर इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर. You try to perceive the existence the way this entire system is working
Hmm.
with millions of stakeholders, birds and flowers and this and that, so many things. You take anything, anything is
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
Millions of stakeholders with billions of processes. You see the way that it is working, the rhythm, the pattern, the synchronization, the timings, the accuracy. You see everything. The
Hmm.
morning sets in
I
evening, and
I have
morning and
always,
evening.
yeah,
If
sir.
you
I have
just
always.
get if you just get into this thing, you will get fascinated the way this system is working. I'm just let me
Yeah.
complete in 2 minutes.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
in this massive system, which is of infinite thing, here there is no sense of somebody is driving this. There is no thought. There is no
Hmm.
thinking. There is no physics. There is no chemistry. There is no science. There is no spiritualism. There is nothing actually in this. But
Hmm.
this is having entirely full of highly intelligent system is working. So when
Hmm.
such a massive thing can work in this massive existence, what will happen here if I go office 10 minutes late or 15 minutes early? I speed up the process. I fight with my boss. I do,
Hmm.
I miss my friend, something. You see how small issues we are worried. But this
Hmm.
existence is doing thousands times bigger than this. It is not worried.
Hmm.
It is not uncertain because it's driven by consciousness. We are driven by a small mind, so we get puzzled out very quickly. समझ गए आप? So that is the thing. So when the
Hmm.
entire इतना बड़ा massive system when it can work without you and me telling anybody anything. So
Hmm.
let's spend one day in our house. Okay, the way today things will happen, we'll do that. Enjoy that. Let's stop interfering. आज ये
Hmm.
करना है वो करना है कुछ नहीं आज जैसा आ रहा है वैसे ही करना है लेट्स लीव टुडे द वे इट कम्स टू अस
It
one day we can spend.
accept the life how it comes to you, right?
Yeah. So the automatically the life force will drive you. That force is working
Hmm.
always. We
It
think
always,
nothing is
it
working.
already
Actually,
has an
huh,
understanding.
huh. It is always having that intelligence is there, that wisdom is there. Rabindranath Tagore, in her poem, he conveyed very nicely. He said the intelligence and the belief of the bird is that
Hmm.
when it is still in dark, it prepares for the morning.
Hmm.
बर्ड्स आप मॉर्निंग अंधेरा में ही सुबह होने का इंतजार करते हैं, तैयार करते हैं वो अपने आप को.
Hmm.
So what exactly you see the precise information what they are handling, the level of wisdom and intelligence you see, nobody tells them,
Hmm.
but automatically the system prepares itself for the sunrise, and the
Hmm.
entire thing picks up. The consciousness picks up and then it spreads out. So, if
Hmm.
you see the kind of intelligence and the wisdom which is there in nature in any small thing, it is massive, massive.
Yeah.
Only we are
Yeah.
not able
I
to see
agree.
them because हमें पढ़ाया नहीं जाता है. We are not studying. We are not reading. We are reading only environment के नाम से we are reading plantation and all and all. So I mean our approach is different. You are understanding that. So
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
this thing has to be taught to the student. The moment they say, "अरे हाँ बात तो सही है," it's true. The way I mean, this system is working without any thinking thought. So many of my friends, they get annoyed with me when I tell them they see there is no physics, chemistry, maths, computer, IT, network, nothing. But you see this infinite system is working. Tell me here how it is working one day. That much. That is the question I'm asking. So
Hmm.
then okay, we may not have answer, but at least have some idea that something is working in a precisely such a finer way. Appreciate that.
Hmm.
Let's respect that.
Hmm.
And we are part of the same system. So we also have the capability to work in the same way. That is my hypothesis that.
Hmm.
उपनिषद
So,
का जो श्लोक है जिसमें मैंने लिखा था, उपनिषद का जो श्लोक है उसमें यत पिंडे तद ब्रह्मांडे, वो उसमें उसका मतलब ही यही है कि the outer existence, entire thing is exactly like what you are having already inside you. You learn
hmm.
this, you will understand that automatically. There is nothing else to be learned, remaining to be learned. There are five elements outside, five elements inside:
Inside.
earth,
Yeah.
water, fire, space. The
Hmm.
functions and the processes, kidney, liver, everything is fine. But they are all working in a oneness, in rhythm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Exactly is happening outside.
Hmm.
Everything is interconnected. They are interdependent. They are working as a system, as a rhythm. It's the same thing. And I don't know if you've seen the small in when we used to kid, we have seen one Mahabharata or Gita. Something was there
Hmm.
in
Yeah.
that Lord Krishna. When her mother used to tell her something, then the little kid will open his mouth, and in that
And the
mouth,
Brahmand will.
the entire
Hmm.
universe will come. Will be seeing inside
Yeah.
it is moving.
Brahmand is
Do you
singing. Yeah.
remember?
I
Remember?
probably remember.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
actually, their concept is this. समझ गए आप? The concept is same
Hmm.
thing.
It's in
तो
you.
इतने बड़े यूनिवर्स को देखने से यदि हम खुद को थोड़ा सा अपने प्रोसेस को देख लेंगे,
Hmm.
if we know, if we explore into our inner self, then the whole entire
Hmm.
existence will come to you, or you will, I mean, start experiencing about that. So this is
Hmm.
see, whatever I am saying you, these are from lots of research. I mean, lots of studies I've done. That's why I'm telling you concisely in a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
specific form.
Yeah. And it's very hard to make it this specific because I think that's what the book did to me. It gave me a perspective that it made me recall something that I may have forgotten long time, and I just have heard. But the book made me realize this sentence that everything is within you. You don't need to look outwards. It's in you. Like
Mhm.
I always got fascinated when I was a kid.
Then
Maybe I was.
this slok from Mandukya Upanishad is the core.
Hmm. Hmm.
Two lines. This
Exactly.
my entire book is between these two lines. Yat pinde tat
Hmm.
brahmande.
Right.
So the transformation of the mind, I told them either you see the birds and you
Hmm.
transform your mind. If you cannot do
Hmm.
that, then see yourself and transform yourself. You have both choices there with you.
Hmm. Right.
There's no other way.
There's no other way. And yeah, I have always fascinated about this. Like whenever I kind of used to thought that how is something in my body in a very definite shape, working in a very definite pattern, supposed to do a very
Hmm.
definite one which I have no control of. Right. My mother didn't ask for a specification where, when I was coming. Like she didn't say he should have a nose on his head. We can't do this. Like God will, like, if I can call that God, I can call that, a system, energy, anything. Everything boils down to how consciousness works for us. How everything is so well designed that if you just be observant for a while, look within yourself, everything is there. Like it's working in such an harmony, like you said. and it's very fascinating.
See,
I mean,
my son dog is there, German Shepherd. It sees through its nose. So the
hmm,
functionality of seeing through nose, eyes, ये तो
exactly.
designer का choice है. It's a very small thing.
Yeah.
It's a very, very small thing. There is nothing big in that. If my
Hmm.
one of my one day I was attending one conference. In that there was
Hmm.
discussion on blind person who comes for a meeting. These days so many
Hmm.
gadgets have come for them.
Hmm.
So the blind person when he attends the meeting, he make a notes of that.
Hmm.
And he was telling my superior that I can recall everything of that meeting. So he asked me, how he can recall.
Hmm.
Because he said me, because the person,
Hmm.
his brain and mind circuits are totally free. There is
Hmm.
no film stored in there. So his
Hmm.
capability of remembering has tremendously increased.
It has got
Okay.
better in a way.
Better. So the thoughts, the absence of thought, absence of pictures, absence of all this thing in the mind, it actually improves our functioning. That precisely is the point. And once you start
Hmm.
experiencing that, from that silentness only you will experience consciousness. Consciousness
Hmm.
will not be able to experience through a noise. It has to come through a silence sense only. Complete
Hmm.
silence.
Very well said,
Then only
actually.
you will.
Very well. Yeah.
Yes,
Hmm. It
that is the
actually, yes, sir.
precisely the point.
Exactly, sir. I mean, this was such a, it can be the tagline that consciousness won't come from noise, but the silence. The voice of silence is very hard hitting sometimes. Like it
Very good.
can meet you yourself. I think there are a thousand more things I want to talk to you, but I think we will run out of time.
Okay,
And
okay, please.
another conversation is definitely warranted because I have just, you know I just want to talk to you about more topics. There are so many topics I want to talk to you about because the spectrum of your entire book is so large that even after finishing it, it made me. I'm fortunate that I'm having a conversation with you, with the author, with the mind that has written it, because you know it it had me very contented and feeling answered for many questions I was going through in life. At the same time, it brought a lot of questions in me because, like, after that, after reading the book, someone would really question his daily life. Like, there are a thousand things we don't do for ourselves, and then the question happens that what should I do for myself? How, like, if after, like, if I'm thinking to do something, let's say in a particular hour per day, I after reading the book, the reader would definitely question whether it is something that will help me to know myself more. It does to you. The book does have that impact. And
Yes.
yes, thank you for writing this book. This book is definitely something that, someone who is seeking to have a start, like, about who is starting to thinking about the meaning of life, about, is going through
Spiritual
some.
journey, beginners.
Hmm. The first
Beginning of
this
the
book,
spiritual journey,
yeah,
anything.
this book is definitely 21st century's first cornerstone of how to turn inwards, how to begin your spiritual
And,
journey, and then, yeah.
and then one more point, one last point I will just add because it's very important that the way we experience life in 24-hour cycle, the morning when we get up
Hmm.
and then the mind start objectification, we develop a sense of otherness. I am this, you are that. No, that kind of otherness
Hmm.
is the relationship that gets established. And the
Hmm.
consciousness spreads out. It goes from flower to birds, then tree, then neighbor, then callwell, then milkmaid, this, that, office boss. No, it's spread out. In that
Yeah.
spread out, we develop relationship, we develop power, we develop position, we develop identities, so many things. The entire world we make. And by the time when we come to sleep, the consciousness starts a return journey. No, return journey,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
slowly we start abandoning all those things. And when we actually sleep, we abandon everything, whatever identities we have gathered, whatever the position we gathered. Have you seen any time a sleeping person how he appears, he or she? Totally,
Hmm.
totally gone. I mean, it's a,
Yeah,
just see the person, the way they sleep. So the entire
like a child.
identification, the entire piling, the entire build-up, whatever we did, we can't hold more than 16 hours.
Hmm.
18 hours. Then we abandon everything. So again, next day we get up, and again the whole cycle starts.
Whole
So
cycle starts. Yeah, it comes
if
back.
you see this, if you see the Upanishad has said about this, the fourth stage consciousness of the human being: waking state, then the
Hmm.
dream, then the sleep, and the deep sleep.
Hmm.
Now, my very first question you asked me, what triggered you? I'll tell you this. This
Hmm.
exactly triggered me. So then I used to think when I am feeling sleepy, then I slept. So if I am seeing a football match, the moment a goal is shot, if I want to see the replay, I see the replay just before the shot and after the shot. It gives a very
Hmm.
good understanding of the time bracket which I am trying to see. But in case
Hmm.
of dream, in case of sleep, why we are not able to detect the transition? I am about to sleep. I am here about, and then I slept. And when I
Hmm.
slept, I should be able to tell me now, okay, now I am sleeping. Now I slept. But nothing happens like that. So that made me very clear that our sensing instruments are not able to detect that this time zone transitions when you are moving from one time zone to next time zone.
Hmm.
And this is happening with millions of us, billions of us every 18, say 8 hours, 10 hours. Almost, if you
Exactly.
see 33 of our life, we remain
Hmm.
in this dark zone. Once we remain in this dark zone, and if we are not aware of us in 24 into 7, we are only aware of the waking time. We are not aware of anything else in that. But actually, that is
Hmm.
a false notion,
Actually.
the false understanding. The actual understanding is that we are 24 into 7 consciousness. We learn many things in dream. We learn many things in sleep. That process is always
Hmm.
on. Consciousness process is always on. So when I used to see the dream and when I used to see next day, everything will happen in the same way, the way I have seen. So I used to
Hmm.
think, yaar, ye kaise ho sakta hai? How it is possible? So there my hypothesis started. And it is 30 years of experience, not one or two. Then again, we will have some other lectures sometimes only focus on dreams.
Hmm.
I'll tell you how
Hmm.
wrongly we have understood this thing. The mankind has totally wrongly understood this concept, very wrongly we have, and because of that we are not able to understand the four segmentation, four in one design of the human being concept. Four in
Hmm.
one design concept you can also experience, I can also experience, just aware of yourself, just becoming
Hmm.
aware. Then you will understand, one day if you see a dream, next day if it comes true, if it happens for 10, 20 times, you will become half mad. Then you will, one thing will become very clear to you, that something
Hmm.
in me which is not time dependent, there are
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
in me which
Hmm.
is time dependent, something in
Hmm.
me which is not time dependent. So consciousness is again not it is not time dependent, it is time
Hmm.
independent. There is nothing like
But transcend
it is becoming old,
transcends.
young, or tomorrow or today. This sense is not there.
Hmm.
So it can see any absolute thing, can see anytime. No? For it is seeing
Yeah.
another picture, that we are
Yeah. I
talking.
mean,
After 5 minutes, we will not talk.
exactly. I mean,
After 5 minutes, this
there are so many possibilities of a reality, and I think consciousness is above that reality. Every reality there is consciousness, and it is an encompassing thing. Like it can see all realities, every possibility of life, and it lets you just do your own thing. Like it, you are in one frame, but
exactly.
your consciousness.
This is the point. So in the
Yeah.
Upanishad, finally, through a story, they narrated this example. One guy was sleeping, then they tried to wake him up, and
Hmm.
then all this story went. Then last May, it is concluding that the entity which is common in all these four,
Hmm.
that is exactly you. Other thing is not you. It is saying that again.
Hmm.
ये चारों स्टेट में जो चीज कॉमन है, वही है एक्चुअली आप हो, और जो
Hmm.
कॉमन नहीं है वो आप नहीं हो।
वो आप नहीं हो,
समझ गए आप?
वो कुछ और हो सकता है बट आप नहीं।
हाँ, so the soul, we can say consciousness, we can say the soft power driven within us, which is
Hmm.
always present, that remembers everything. In dream also it remembers I am seeing the dream.
Hmm.
When, how it is possible here, when it is not able to detect when it has slept, it is
Something
saying
is
that
there
when.
which, yeah.
So this whole this four things, it holds all secrets. This
Hmm.
small, the way we sleep and we wake and we dream. If we understand this whole thing, na, the whole
Hmm.
secrets comes out of this.
Right. Right. Any so sir, which makes me think that before concluding this session, I really would like
Right.
if you have any word for the reader. Like let's say someone has read your book or is reading your book or is going to read your book. What will be your suggestion to your readers, or anything that you want to tell your readers, anything you want to share
Yeah,
with them?
I want to just tell readers that conscious experience the consciousness which is there within you. Please don't waste your time. Try to experience that. Start a beginning in that direction.
Hmm.
And once you experience it, then your whole thinking process, your concept, everything will get changed. You will continue to do the same thing, whatever work you are
Hmm.
doing for livelihood. But your way, the way you perceive, understand the world, and you remain you with everyone with lots of joy, happiness, and love, will automatically all this positivity will come into you. But you
Hmm.
have to experience the sense of consciousness within you. This is not as an idea, but you can experience this. And because I have experienced some of the thing, so my idea is that if you can experience, automatically you will understand many things. By thoughts, you will not understand much. So
Hmm.
reading is only to trigger the thinking process in you. But you may get experience the way which I have not written in the book. You may get experience in another way. But you will get experience. That much I can tell you.
Hmm.
So please read that.
Definitely.
And
And
second,
I
last point is that we are living in an infinite existence, in a very massive thing. Lots of possibility and probabilities are there in this. Please do not
Hmm.
conclude on everything. If you draw all kind of conclusions, then there is nothing to move forward. You know this,
Hmm.
everything we have concluded in this present problem.
Hmm.
The society is that everybody has concluded. Scientists has concluded. You have
Hmm.
concluded. I have concluded. My neighbor has. Everybody has concluded about everyone else.
Yeah.
Who
Everybody
is
is so
good
sure
and who
about,
is
like,
bad.
I know this.
So when everybody has concluded, then this infinite existence, how we'll know then? That is the problem. We'll not
Hmm.
move at all. So please stop all conclusions from your mind. Whatever I am saying, you please
Hmm.
experience this.
Yeah. Be
Spiritualism,
like open.
and this is the beginning of the spiritualism. Spiritualism in a deeper sense come at much later stage. But
Hmm.
with this much thought, whatever background one you may have, you can always read and enjoy this because it's a knowing yourself. knowing
And
consciousness is knowing consciousness is like knowing oneness. So there is nothing like I can say for me,
hmm.
not for you. It is nothing like for everyone.
Right, right. And that's a very valid point, sir, because I think, yeah, being big and I think you become open when you embrace the silence. You can't be like, open to things when you keep on talking. You can't, there is a lot of noise and you need to like really silent. Yeah, I can now start. And that's what this book does to you, actually. You become silent by the end of it. You start questioning questions within. You believe that you have the answer, and then maybe one or two answers might just come to you in your own way, not exactly in the way which sir has written in the book, but the answers will come to you. At least the questions will, the right questions will definitely kick in your mind after you read the book. Okay, so sir, just I'm holding this frame because I will just turn off my camera for a second, bring the book and display it for the readers at the end of it. This part will be edited, like what I'm saying right now. Yeah, I'll just display the book by the end of it. Yeah. So I think this was a really great conversation, and I still have a lot of things to talk with you, sir. But I think we will run out of time. We have already talked at least the initial bits about human awakening, consciousness, oneness, and even you. I am glad that I got to peek into the mind of the writer himself. Right. That's something that doesn't happen every day. Even after reading the book, when I was like, I'm gonna talk to someone who has written it. I was like really flabbergasted. I was totally on the heel that yeah, now I will be speaking to the mind itself. I want to know more about it because and yeah, this is the book. I don't know if it is mirrored in the image, but the title is Transforming Journey of Mind. And it is written by Sir Bimal Kumar. And it is available on Amazon, the link of which should be somewhere down below here. So you can just go, you can hit the CTA, you can just go around and, buy the book and definitely buy it. Like, you should read it. Like I said, it's the cornerstone in 21st century, cornerstone book of 21st century. If someone is, willing to begin his journey, have answers to the questions that he always thinks but never really bothers about. But it has done a lot of change in me for sure. It has made me more of a, like, silent, mm, someone who would question himself on a daily basis, and that helps. So thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
seriously, I even want to meet you, talk to you about 1,000 more things, and learn from you. Just by listening to you, I can just feel that silence. Like, yeah, I'm getting answers. Like, like you are a teacher, right? And that shows, like, you teach. I was totally guided onto like a
Yeah,
beautiful.
no, it is a see the new generation of teachers will be like this in sitting in classroom. They will not come with pencil, torch, and anything. They will just
Hmm.
sit across each other and they will become silent and they will learn everything. This kind of learning is going
Silence
to
is the
become
new
happens
voice. Silence is the new voice.
because we are capable to learn in silence. That somehow we miss that.
Right. And with that, I'm putting this particular session to silence and I'm sure the viewers have many questions, and try to have those questions answered by yourself. And that's what this book is all about. So go ahead and read this book. Thank you for joining, sir. I hope to see you next time soon.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Namaskar. And this is Kajol Aikat signing off.